Hey, welcome back to the Crowdfunding Demystified YouTube channel. On this channel, we talk about really reaching your full potential as a creator, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. And in today's video, I want to talk about how you can grow your own fan base from scratch. So going from zero to thousands of people seeing your content online, if not hundreds of thousands. I'm going to share with you some of the ways that I've done this and also some of the ways that you can easily employ to grow that fan base into record numbers. So let's get into that in today's YouTube video. All right, man, welcome again back to this channel. And my name is Salvador Brigman, and I've done a lot of different things over the years. I put out content in many different mediums, whether that's starting in the industry, the crowdfunding industry back in 2012 with my blog, crowdcrux.com, or then transitioning and growing into podcasting, into YouTube, into growing different Facebook groups out there that have more than 10,000 members, or KickstarterForum.org that's more than 10,000 people who have registered on that online forum. I've grown a lot of different communities, a lot of different channels over the years. And in today's video, I just wanted to kind of condense that into one easy video so you can go out there and you can actually grow your fan base from scratch. Whether you are a creator, a business owner, whether you have great ideas that you want to share with the world, hopefully you could actually use some of these, employ them, you can take some action, and you can get people following you in droves. So the first one on my list is content. You gotta be producing content consistently, and you have to choose one core kind of home base, if you will, or one major channel which you're producing that content on. So for example, maybe that could be a YouTube channel, that could be a blog, that could be a podcast, that could be an Instagram profile of some kind. You need to be consistently producing content. And it's one of those things where sometimes you wake up in the morning and you don't want to really go to the gym. You wake up in the morning and you don't want to go on a run, or you don't want to go and hit the laptop and start working on stuff at 7 a.m., right? But you do it anyway. If you're a disciplined business owner, if you're really focused on moving your life forward, if you're willing to actually improve, you are going to show up anyway and do it at that set time because you said you would, and you're willing to follow your word. You value your own word, and because of that, you actually have high standards for yourself and for your life. And the same thing comes with content. You got to be producing content regularly, almost I would say religiously, and on a consistent basis. In addition, when it comes to that content has to showcase whatever your talent is, or whatever it is you're trying to put out there to the world. I was doing an individual coaching call with a student recently, and they're like, dude, I'm a musician. I'm like, that's great. Are you putting out songs? Are you putting out content at all? Are you sharing this with anyone? They're like, well, no, but I love the music, right? That's incredible as a hobby, something to enjoy on your own. But if you want to go from artist to really be making a living at this and growing a massive tribe, a massive following, people have to discover you. They have to come across your content. So you got to be putting that out there to the world in a major channel consistently, and ideally as well, showcasing that talent that you have, be that teaching, be that something that's more musically inclined, be that something that's, athletic or entertainment related, be showcasing that talent in the content you are producing. Number two is that you got to be using social media to grow your fan base. Social media is free. It's insane. Our ancestors and generations that have come before us have not had access to this incredible free tool. Even getting started in the early days, MySpace was probably one of the first, right, social media tools out there. We even had talents like Dan Cook, right, who was able to get incredible fan base just because of social media. All the days, like every single day, TikTokers are being discovered, Instagrammers are being discovered, YouTubers are being discovered. You can use social media to your advantage to be able to broadcast your messages worldwide to a national audience and to a global fandom. So when it comes to social media, pick 1, 2, at most 3, set up your own social media account, start to optimize your profile, start putting out content regularly, start using hashtags, engaging with your fans there. And I'm telling you, this will be a dividend that will pay back incredible returns years and years to come. So make sure you use social media to your advantage to put out content, to interact with your fans. And it's a great place where, aside from your core channel, for example, being a YouTube channel or being a podcast, people can interact with you, they can write in, they can direct message you, and in that way you can have a much more tight-knit fandom or a tight-knit tribe in that way. Tip number 3 is something that I've actually developed over the years, and that's because what ends up happening is when it comes to social media or even a major content channel, sometimes that falls out of relevance. So for example, maybe you have one social media account that was really on fire for a couple of years, and all of a sudden the algorithm changes for the platform and it's like you're not ranking at all. Or even a social media profile or a social media platform goes kapoof and it's no longer in existence, or people aren't using it to the degree that they once were. Or maybe even your core content producing medium, maybe you were, for example, like doing something, a platform that's very regular, something that, at the time was maybe something very novel, but now it no longer exists. So it's really important to do what I'm about to mention, which is you need to set up your own website. This is so incredibly pivotal. I know a lot of you are like, you know what, Sal, I'm probably gonna get a couple hundred followers from that, or I'm gonna get 100 people visiting the site, or even a couple thousand. Why would I set up my own website? Here is why. This is your home base. This is where people can actually discover you online. This is where you can begin to build your own brand independent of social media, independent of the content channels which you're putting out content on. And in that way, you can actually start to develop your own online presence. And to me, this is like the bedrock foundation to be able to do something full-time, doing what you love, your full-time passion, and growing a massive fandom online. You gotta have your own website. There's so many easy ways to go out there. You can go out there to Wix, or you can go out there if you want to use Squarespace, or you can set up your own blog on WordPress. I have a great tutorial out there on Wix that I'll try to link up down below. So many easy ways to get a website up nowadays, but you gotta make sure you do that. Tip number 4, when it comes to growing your own community, is that you need to have a way in which you can communicate with your community, even if, for example, you start deranking on a platform like Facebook, or maybe even one of your social media accounts for some reason gets banned or something like that. You need to have a direct mainline communication method with your fans. And in order to do that, probably the number one that I would say out there right now is email marketing. So you need to build your own email list. This is critical. If you take nothing else away from this video when it comes to building your fan base, you need to build your own email list. It is so incredibly important. In addition, you can use this incredible tool of email marketing to direct traffic wherever it is that you want. Let's say you come out with a new product, or you come out with a new book, or you come out with a new CD or album. You can direct all those eyeballs and all that attention to one spot at one time using email marketing. So it's an incredibly powerful tool. Make sure if you want to grow your fan base, you gotta have an email list. So make sure you build yours. If you're struggling at all with building an email list, I have an incredible tool out there which I recommend called Aweber, and I have a tutorial as well out there showing you how to set up an email wait list, how to set up an email database of people you can send out emails regularly and send out email campaigns. I'll include the link to that as well below. And also, if you want to check out Aweber, all you got to go to this link I'm about to mention at crowdcrux.com/Aweber, and you can sign up for an account. You can get upwards of free 500 subscribers when it comes to that account, and you also help out the channel. If you go through that link, it is an affiliate link, and you'll get a small commission at no expense to you. So thank you so much if you decide to do that. Want to take all the stress out of fulfilling your Kickstarter rewards? Fulfillrite is the turnkey solution that puts product delivery on autopilot. The Top Campaigns uses trusted high-tech provider to store, package, and ship their products. Focus on growing your business. Leave shipping to the experts. Don't wait. Get a custom quote from Fulfillrite today. Link in the description. The next key step when you are building a fan base is that you need to have what's called audience interaction. So I discovered this actually in my early days when I was building KickstarterForum.org, and also when I was setting up my Facebook group, and I was building different groups in many different categories. And I built up as well multiple online forums and multiple online communities. So what I discovered is that it's not enough just to have a one-to-one interaction. A one-to-one interaction is like I write a blog post and you read it, right? Or I produce a YouTube video and you watch it. It's not enough just to have that. You can develop incredible expertise. You can get raving fans as a result of putting out content in that way, but you're not really gonna have a tribe, a fan base, or a community just relying on that one specific strategy. Instead, what you actually need is you need people in your community to interact with each other, right? And I discovered this and it had this really unique effect where people started to build up like their own little communities within my community, and it was so cool, right? So what ends up happening is when people can interact with each other, they start to then view you, number one, as a home base, but also they have their own unique experiences as a result of doing that. And they start to share values. And whenever people share values or share visions or begin to exchange information and not only learn from each other, it kind of has this really interesting strengthening effect within the actual community. That's one of the things that you must do if you're trying to build a fan base. You need to have a place where people can interact with each other. Ideally, your own, a tribe that you own, right? Whether it's being a Facebook group or Discord or your own online forum or something like that, you need to have your own little space where people can interact with each other, and you kind of spur that discussion and you begin to spur those connections and that kind of forming of a community. Number 6 in the list, and I know I'm kind of sounding a little bit strange when I'm using this, but it's really about recruiting, okay? And it sounds very strange when I put it that way, but it's almost really like you have your own initial tribe and your base of your community, and they're following you for a certain length of time, and they're talking with each other like we talked about in the last point, and they're building this cohesive community. But at the same time, it's not just about fostering that community which you have, putting out regular content, etc., but it's also about recruiting new people. into the community. And the way you do that is you create content around specific trends. So specific trends could be something that's trending in the news, it could be something that's trending in a social conversation, it could be a new tool, it could be something new related to you. So maybe creating music, for example, around a certain major trend or a certain terminology or informal words that people are using, incorporating that into your music, right? Or if you're producing something more in the entertainment style, maybe the topic of the entertainment video is related to something that's trending or a personality which is trending in some way, right? So when you produce content around trending material, what it does, it allows you to be seen by a whole new group of people. And as a result, a certain percentage of those people then begin to actually join your community. So it's a way almost of recruiting new people into your fandom or your fan base, and it's a really easy and effective way to build your community over time. Number 7, what I want to talk about in terms of building your fan base also has to do, I would say, goes hand in hand with also monetizing your fan base. So I think that monetizing your fan base is one of the most important ways to grow a self-sustaining community, because obviously you can't afford to just have thousands and thousands of people in your community without any kind of way of, let's just say, moving their life forward, and you're providing all these services. You can't do it for free, right? So you need to have some way to monetize your community. So whether it's podcasting, whether it's YouTube, whether it's blogging, if you're putting out any kind of regular content, I would think that as of today, Patreon is probably the #1 way that creators are monetizing their fan base. So Patreon is an incredible tool. I have a great tutorial out there if you're not familiar with what it is, but it's a way that your fans can subscribe to your Patreon account or Patreon page. They can pay you monthly between $1 to $5 to $25 in order to gain access to special tiers and also special access to you. So think of this as a monthly membership community which you own, which accomplishes a lot of different things, where you're putting out content regularly to that community likely, but also they're a part of their own community and tribe, right? So when you build a Patreon, in which you can do that from scratch, you can then start to have residual income as a business owner, which allows you then to support even better content, which you then produce and you disseminate to the community, and has this kind of cool karmic effect. So first of all, I have a great free course out there on Patreon, which you can check out at crowdcrux.com/Patreon course. I also have a great guide out there showing you some tricks for actually launching a Patreon campaign. I went out there and I interviewed some of the most successful Patreon campaigners out there and distilled everything when it comes to the best advice, tips, tools, techniques into this guide, which I call Patreon Tricks for launching a Patreon campaign, which you can check out at crowdcrux.com/Patreon tricks. So I'll include the link to those down below. But what I want to also share with you when it comes to building this community is not only do you need to have a way to monetize your fan base, but also you need to have a shared sense of vision, values, and objective. Now think about some of the biggest tribes out there, the biggest communities out there, whether that's a religious movement, whether that's an NGO, a non-governmental organization, or it could be even a corporation. Think about even like bigger entrepreneurs, I don't guess like Elon Musk, who's kind of like a polarizing figure, him wanting to go to Mars. When you have a very big vision, when you have certain values that you have as the founder of this community, and also you have objectives which you want to achieve, you can actually begin to polarize people, and certain people will love you and certain people are going to hate you. But the ones who do love you are going to join your community, and they're going to identify with your movement, be that the vision that you have for the planet or the world and improving the world in some way, be that your own values, for example, my values of showing up, of working hard, of executing, of always learning and always being disciplined, becoming a student of life, student of business, and really always being on the lookout for new information and new education which you can sink your teeth into, you can have seep into your mind so you can improve, you can get better and better and better over the years. That's one of my values. I tend to attract people as well that are hardworking, that are smart, and that are disciplined. So you need to make sure you have vision, values, and also objectives ideally when it comes to your community. So I hope you enjoyed this video and some of the tips which you can use not only to build your community, but also have a much more cohesive community and one that stands out from everyone else's there. And lastly, of course, how to monetize it. So if you did enjoy this video, first of all, come subscribe to my community, man. I'm here to help you reach your full potential as a creator or as a business owner, and I hope that I can help you on the path, even that's just sharing a great tip with you on a weekly basis. Hopefully I can help ignite that fire underneath you, that fire in the belly, so you really get excited about going out there and achieving your goals. So first of all, come subscribe to this channel if you want actual advice, techniques, and also high quality education. And also, if you enjoyed this specific video, give me a thumbs up and let me know. Leave a positive comment down below as well. My name is Salvador Brigman, and I will see you next time.